Hey there, Megan Jansen with Employee Wellness Solutions Network. I'm still on a year-long mission in talking to so many wonderful people in the space of health, wellness, well-being, specifically in our workplaces. Today I have the privilege of tracking down a very busy lady. She just got back from a whirlwind of a few days traveling. Rachel Druckenmiller, thank you so much for being with me today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Rachel, you're very busy. You're from Baltimore, Maryland. You're a speaker. You're a writer. You were named 2019 40 Under 40 Workforce Game Changer for 2019. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks so much. It was really exciting, kind of unexpected. So, I'm pretty happy about it.
I bet. That's an honor for sure. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your busy day for me. You have a passion in well-being at work and just, I think, overall health and wellness for individuals. You spend a lot of time, though, with intention, living on purpose, and not on autopilot. And I just love that. Can you explain to me what that really means?
Yeah, so interestingly, I think a lot of people kind of go through their lives. I describe it as like not really being awake, and sometimes like zombies. Like we literally feel like zombies. We're just going through the motions. We're going through our day. We're not necessarily thinking about what we're doing, and we're just, showing up. We're waking up the same way. We're going to work doing the same thing. We're not necessarily asking like, is the life that I'm living a life that I want to be living? And in the sense of like, does my life look the way that I want it to? And so often we can get through, maybe by the time we're like in our late 50s and we like, it's like we blink, we open our eyes and we're like, how did I get here? I'm happy in my relationships, I'm not fulfilled in my work. I feel kind of disconnected in all these areas. I haven't taken care of my body. And sometimes I think for a lot of people, it ends up being this wake up call. That's the thing. And it's often something that either can be really kind of like a crisis or like something traumatic in some sense that gets people to pay attention and say, oh my gosh, like the way that I'm living my life isn't working. And I need to, there's almost like this compulsion now to do something differently. So I think of intentional living as just being thoughtful and purposeful and mindful of how we're showing up physically, emotionally, relationally, professionally.
So as people go through those, the work days and the schedules and the routines and then really on autopilot, I think burnout is also something that is quite popular. And is it possible, can someone actually get out of that mindset of feeling so weighed down, do you think?
Yeah, so the kind of timely thing that's related to this topic of burnout is that it was actually just named an official medical diagnosis by the World Health Organization in May of 2019. And the reason I am so passionate about it is because I experienced it. I burned out at the age of 32 and got mono and was just completely wiped out. And so I had my own wake up call. And I realized in the midst of all that, I did a lot of reflection, a lot of reading, lots of conversations with people over the course of kind of recovering. And what I learned was most important for me was a couple of things. One was relationships. I think a lot of us do this. We get busy, we have stuff that we're doing, things we're pursuing, and we let our relationships, like our close, meaningful, intimate, quality relationships with people who actually know us, can hold us accountable, can love us, who can challenge us, like we kind of like make them an afterthought. And then when we get to the point where we're so overwhelmed and we have so many things we're trying to hold on to and to hold up, nobody knows that we're struggling because we never let anybody in along the way. And then we can feel like we're crushed by the weight of whatever it is that we think we're supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to be showing up. And I think that is one of the things that causes us to be isolated and to withdraw and to be exhausted and to be irritable. And we just like bow out almost because we think like, I'm too much for myself, so I'm probably too much for other people. And so just being willing to open up about that, I think there's a lot of pride that stops us from doing that. And so I've learned that just like being intentional in relationship and getting really clear on my strengths and my values and inviting other people and kind of guiding other people and leaders to do that for themselves so that they can say like, am I living like aligned with what my strengths are? Am I living aligned with the things that I say I value? And once we can begin to make those things happen, like invest in our relationships, align with these things that that really kind of drive and fuel us, and make time for rest. I sleep an hour more on average a night than I did before I burned out. Just certain things we have to sacrifice in order to take care of ourselves.
We have to feel our best. And if we don't feel our best, you certainly feel it. And as you said, a lot of people around you would also feel that. You're just not feeling great, and we all deserve to feel great. So these are all important things. I also feel like the word gratitude and showing appreciation, thankfulness are all really powerful things that people can start to practice. To start tipping that scale for happiness. What are your thoughts on the importance of, really the importance of those things?
Yeah. So I feel like gratitude is a big buzzword now in terms of the sense, it's been around a long time, but this idea of we see a lot of, things on social media about be grateful, count your blessings, that kind of stuff. And it can feel like lip service, I think, to a lot of people. But there's so much research out there about the impact of gratitude on well-being and on relationships and on reducing, the risk of, certain mental health issues. And one of the things I've learned about gratitude that I find to be particularly compelling is that gratitude is the antidote to fear and anxiety. So we can't be in a state of truly feeling grateful for certain things and people and experiences in our life, and at the same exact moment feel fearful and anxious. So one of the things that I've done, I've had a gratitude journal, and I watched Oprah when I was, little, and so I've had a gratitude journal since high school. All right, one of those. And I would just write down things I'm grateful for. And I was leading a workshop one day for a client about kind of living our best life and living from a place of strength and focusing on gratitude. And I was kind of tossing and turning, and I had trouble falling asleep. And I was like, you just told these people that gratitude is the antidote to fear and anxiety. Why don't you try the thing you told them about? And I did. And I got my journal out next to my bed, and I wrote down about it took me to getting to about 7 or 8 things before I experienced that mindset shift that calmed me down enough to be able to go to bed. And that's one of the things just experientially when we're coming from a place of burnout, when we're coming from a place of disengagement, when we're coming from a place of ill health, there's a really, really high likelihood that we have completely disconnected from the things in our life that are good. And when we connect to and dial into those things, we're strengthened by that, because it's a reminder, it's a perspective shift of whatever I'm going through that's so difficult right now is not all there is. And it makes you feel good. Your brain doesn't necessarily know that you're doing something kind towards somebody else by appreciating them. Your body just experiences I'm grateful, I'm appreciative. And then we get that kind of dual benefit of, seeing this other person receive something that fills them up, and then we get filled up by that. So this kind of altruism has these positive side effects.
I love that. It's like little boosts, if you're really struggling, there's we've, as a family, some really great things that we do as giving, and there's nothing, I tell people there's no better feeling than giving. There's no better feeling. And that thanks, the appreciation, the gratefulness, all of it is so, you have to be mindful, I feel. And that's sometimes hard for people. Brains are so busy all the time. It's kind of hard to just, maybe it is before bed. Is there a best time to open that gratitude journal and to keep track of some of your thoughts? Is there a best time or no?
Well, there's a practice called 3 Good Things. It's a research-based practice around gratitude that has been demonstrated to, be correlated with lower, incidence of depression, less anxiety, some of these other, symptoms we've been talking about. And so a lot of people find that at the end of their day, they're kind of recapping in their mind what happened that day. So what are 3 good things that happened and why did they happen? So the connection is not just writing down like a cup of coffee, I saw my dog, like just being a bit more specific with writing down like, so this happened, somebody said this kind thing to me. Why did they say that kind thing? Oh, because I helped them with this project. So we begin to see ourselves as people that are creating these good things in our lives, or that we're inviting these good things into our lives, that we have a role in that. And it's very empowering for people to think of themselves that way, as opposed to the victim and martyr role that a lot of people can get stuck in. And so I would say anytime you can do it is great. Some people do it as a kind of an intention setting for the very beginning of their day to help get their mindset thinking that way. But it's kind of like eating vegetables. Like, just eat a lot of them. However you get them in, just get more vegetables in. So same with gratitude, like just focus on more ways that feel authentic and meaningful to you, whether it's writing thank you notes or calling somebody or texting somebody. I've writing handwritten notes. I love sending handwritten notes. I have stacks of thank you cards that I send to people, and I love that practice that I've had since I was like a little kid.
That's amazing. Amazing. Rachel, I mean, goodness, you're so wise. And I can just imagine your audiences just eat this all up, because I feel I'm one of those as well. I could talk to you forever, but we do have to tie things up. Do you have any final thoughts around this topic of intention, living on purpose, and not always on autopilot?
Yeah, so one of the things I feel like I say a lot, that's kind of the thread that runs through my work kind of philosophically, is that everyone wants to be seen, heard, and known, and to feel like they matter. Like, even the people that you find to be the most difficult human beings, that you're like, there is no way this person has anything good in them. Because there's some people that are like that. We're like, they are just out to make me miserable, you know? But even that person, especially that person, wants to feel seen and heard and valued. And I think that so much of so many of the issues we have in our society, so many of the issues we have relating to our health and well-being is because we are not living out and really living from that truth. And if we really thought that, it would make us more inclined. So when I think of being intentional, I think of just when I'm at Target, I ask the person who's the cashier, how is your day going? And then if they answer, I ask them a follow-up question. Like, it's about when someone gets on an elevator with you, like you look up from your phone and you have a conversation with them. When someone's in your presence, that you're not sitting there staring down or clicking on your laptop, ignoring them. It's these, if someone comes to mind for you and you don't know why you're thinking of them, and maybe you haven't talked to them in months, that you would reach out to them and say, hey, I'm not sure why, but you were in my mind today. How are you? Like, none of these things are significant in terms of like their scope. They're simple, but most of us don't do them on a consistent basis. And so those, when I say being intentional in terms of how you live, like those are the types of things that I mean.
Love it. Thank you so much. Great reminders. My goodness.
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rachel, for your insights, your thoughts, and really sharing more depth into this very important topic. We need more of you.
Sure. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
It is. Thank you so much.
Thank you.